Hello, and welcome to AARP Nebraska's presentation of the Nebraska Passport program. My name's Loretta Mills, and I am lucky enough to be an AARP volunteer with the West Omaha Community Action Team. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing to you Madison Johnson. Madison is with the Nebraska Department of Tourism. She is the Passport Program Coordinator. As a coordinator, Madison has the responsibility and focus on program development, implementation, and participation. She also educates and trains the many applicants that have been selected for the program as to the benefits of being involved in the program. In addition, Madison then collects and analyzes data to prepare reports on the program's impact and participation levels. She also develops relationships and partnerships with the state and local officials, visitor bureau staff and managers, as well as with the civic and tourism industry officials. Madison has her bachelor's degree in hospitality, restaurant, and tourism management. In addition, she has minors in business, leadership, and entrepreneurship, all from the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. Madison is a Nebraska homegrown girl. She grew up near Fairbury, Nebraska, on an acreage just outside of town. And she has a real passion for our state of Nebraska and rural communities. Please join me in welcoming Madison Johnson.
Well, thank you so much. That was a lovely introduction. Yes, my name is Madison, and I am the Passport Program Coordinator for Nebraska Tourism. And today I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Nebraska Passport Program. So if you've never heard of the Passport, it is a fun and interactive travel program to give both in-state and out-of-state travelers new ideas for places to visit. We like to use the term hidden gems because a lot of the businesses and attractions on the program are places you maybe never thought you'd go to or didn't even know existed. And then, of course, the overall goal of the program is to positively impact Nebraska businesses and tourism. So there is a wide variety of adventures offered on the program. There's things like state parks, museums, restaurants, retail stores. We've had popcorn stores. There's completely candle designated places, local art attractions, just a huge variety of things. I like to say anything and everything can and has been a passport stop. And then many of these places offer special deals or experiences for passport participants. So sometimes they'll offer like 15% off of your purchase, or maybe they'll offer you a behind the scenes tour purely because you're a part of the passport. It's super easy. So basically what you do is you go into one of our 70 stops and you present your booklet and you just get a stamp. And then at the end of the program, you turn those stamps into us here at Nebraska Tourism and you get prizes based on how many stops you go to. It's also completely free to participate in. So you don't need to buy anything in order to get a booklet. You also don't need to purchase anything at the locations in order to get a stamp. But obviously, we want you to support Nebraska businesses and to support these attractions, but it is not a requirement to participate in the program. So this is the 12th year of the Nebraska Passport Program, and every year the passport is different. So if you've participated in previous years, maybe you participated in 2018, there's an entirely new array of things on and stops on the program this year. So like I said, there are 70 stops each year, and they change year after year. Stops are picked through an application process. So they're picked based on geographical diversity, what the stop has to offer, as well as customer experience, because we want you guys to have an enjoyable time while you're there. So 2020 was actually a record-breaking year. We had about 1,185 participants make it to all 70 stops. In 2019, we had 914. So that number just keeps growing year after year. It's really amazing. This was a really great year for last year. Sorry, we're in 2021 now. 2020 was a really great year for the program purely because it's a lovely way to get out and about to your comfort level. So you can go with, your spouse or your small family unit and travel to places, and you can wear masks, social distance when you deem necessary. There's a lot of outdoor attractions featured this year. So if you are wary of going into businesses, this is a really great way to just kind of see a little bit of stuff and still maintain the restrictions that you're comfortable with. But last year, we had an average of 23 stamps per person. So if you were a participant on the program last year, there's a decent chance that you went to at least 23 of our stops. And then back in 2019, we did an economic impact study of the program and saw that the average, the traveler spending revenue from the Nebraska Passport program was $23.7 million. And then there was $1.9 million in state and local tax revenue. I love those numbers because it really just shows how generous our participants are. Because this is a free program, we just really love when people go into a local store, spend a few dollars, they eat at local restaurants, they stay at local hotels, and it's really just a great way to benefit Nebraska and rural communities and just our state in general. So typically here is where I play a little game, but obviously you're not going to be able to interact with me, so we're going to do a little fun, just waiting out to see if you can play at home. So the first stop, this one, if you know what this is, I'll give you a few seconds to kind of think of it. Jeopardy theme music playing. So this stop is in Grand Island, Nebraska. This is on the passport this year. This is the Stir Museum of the Prairie Pioneer. This picture is of the main museum, kind of as I believe this is facing north, but there is actually a moat in front of the entire museum. And it is a beautiful building with, marble floors. It's just beautiful. And there's a lovely amount of artifacts and displays in there. But then if you were to take this picture and move about 180 degrees the opposite direction, you would see a pioneer village that during the summer has reenactors, does live performances. They do a lot of cool things for the holidays, where they have people just telling the story of what it was like to be a pioneer in our beautiful state. And this next one, let you think about it, take it in. This is my favorite place in the state, I would say. Favorite natural attraction, I should say. This is outside of Valentine, kind of east of Valentine on the Niobrara. This is Smith Falls State Park. So if you've never been to Smith Falls, it is a 44-foot tall waterfall, kind of tucked into the woods. But there's this really lovely, I believe it's handicap accessible now, track that leads you right up to the falls. If you have kids with you, you can, let them get in their swim trunks and swimsuits. They can play in the water. They can go in the falls, get all fresh, especially in the summertime. Last time I was there, it was September, and I think it was like 95 degrees, and it was so much fun and really just beautiful. Also, it's in a little canyon, so it's much cooler there anyway. It's a beautiful place to visit, and if you've never been, I highly suggest it. This next one is another waterfall, but this one's a little bit smaller, but it is closer to the east side of Nebraska. It's very close to where I live because I live in Ashland, but this is Platte River State Park. This is the falls pretty close to the Platte River. This is up by Louisville. And this place is really awesome. It has lovely hiking trails. Where you get to this awesome little waterfall. And again, you can climb in there, you can play, let the kids run. It's so much fun. I know a lot of people love taking their grandkids. It's a really popular place. Platte River State Park is really, really beautiful. And they have cabins and picnic areas and things that you can rent as well. All right, I think this is the last one, and this one's really tough. I've only had one person ever guess it on one of these presentations, so I would be surprised, but take it in. Maybe, I don't think you can read that sign, but maybe look at it, go, it's a river. It gives you a good sense of what we might be looking at. But this is actually the Meridian Bridge. This picture is taken from Yankton, South Dakota, but you're looking over to the Nebraska side. So the Meridian Bridge was built, I believe, in 1924, 1927, one of those years. It was originally a railroad and vehicle bridge, but now it has been since retired of those two activities, and now is basically a walking an event bridge, which is really awesome. The city of Yankton has done a lot to promote this bridge and keep it safe. They have all these guards now, and it's really beautiful. You can walk on both the top and the bottom levels. And we're really happy to have it a part of the program this year, because actually the state line is where the little, you can see that little water is white right there. That's actually where the state line is. So there's more of this bridge in Nebraska than there is in South Dakota. But we're really excited to have it highlighted, because again, it's something that I didn't even know existed until about a year ago. I've been there myself. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's really fun. Oh, just kidding. This is the last one. This one is also a fan favorite from, I believe it was on in 2019. This is Happy Jack Chalk Mine in Scotia. So if you've never been to Happy Jack Chalk Mine, it's right off the highway near Scotia, and you kind of go back into a little ravine, and then you see this, my coworker Aaron likes to call it a shack, but it kind of is a shack that leads into the chalk mine. And I believe I went in the summertime, and it was August, and it was hot, and it was something like 60 degrees in the mine, and it is that way year round. They have sweaters there for you if you are someone who doesn't like the cold, especially in the summertime. It can be a little jarring. But if you go there, and if you go on a certain day, you'll get a tour from a little, I think she's about 96 now, old lady who used to, who's worked at the chalk mine for a really long time giving tours. She'll tell you so many cool tours. The mine is massive. They used to do motorcycle races in here in the 1950s. There's a big banquet, or a ballroom, as they like to say, where they used to do dances and sock hops. And I know that they're kind of trying to get back into that. So this is, again, a really wonderful natural attraction. There's only a few left in the world. So why Passport? So who does a Nebraska Passport? So here in a sec, I'm going to share some of our stories from Nebraska Passport participants that they shared on our website last year. It is a really, really great time, really great way to spend some time with friends and family. They love being able to go out and see these businesses and attractions. They learn a lot about the state, and it's fun. They say it's very adventurous, and it's something that they do year after year. A lot of people say that the program is kind of addicting. You know, you get 5 stamps, you want to get 10, you want to get 20, and so on and so forth. So this is from Susan in Pender that said, we discovered this great place in June as we started the Passport travels this year. Every time we need to head south or west, we plan to stop in Lindsay at the Farmer's Wife for some great refreshments and, of course, some shopping. Love the new earrings I found, and the hot and cold drinks were awesome. We ended up going there 3 times this summer on the Passport trips. So that I love that story. Again, this is the Farmer's Wife Boutique and Coffee Shop in Lindsay. And again, it's just a fun thing. You know, they probably didn't expect that one of their favorite places in the world would be a coffee shop and boutique in Lindsay, Nebraska. Yet they went there 3 times in one summer. So just finding things like that that are just, you know, kind of your niche is really, really special. This is from Karen in Norfolk. So what do 2 friends of almost 40 years do when they had a trip to Vegas planned and COVID strikes? They ordered 2020 Nebraska passports and traveled throughout the state of Nebraska. As we embarked on our first road trip in June, I don't think either of us really believed we would make it to all the stops, but as of October 18th, we had them all marked off. It has been such a great summer, full of a lot of great sights, good conversations, and a lot of laughs. I think we have decided this will be an annual thing for us. So this just highlights how the program was used last year. You know, a lot of people maybe had trips to Cabo or to Vegas or to, you know, maybe see family in other states, but they were just able to stay in their home state and travel the way that they were comfortable with. So it was really great, and I love that story. Here we go. This is Jenny in Fremont. Village Pizza in Hemingford is the bomb. The pizza is delicious, and the pizza was amazing, and the ice cream was delicious. We even had a flat tire while we were there, and they were more than helpful to get us up and running again. Highly recommend coming here. So this is, again, Village Pizza in Hemingford. This is one of my favorite stops from last year. Their pizza is awesome. And again, it's in Hemingford, which is in the Panhandle, if you didn't know. So a really, really small town. The owners are really nice, so it does not surprise me at all that they help someone with a flat tire. So again, just finding something that you really never knew existed. And this is hands down my favorite story from last year, but Patricia is enjoying her first year doing the Passport while David is a 5-year veteran champion. Both widowed, their relationship began as piano duet partners, then quarantine partners, accumulating in their marriage in September. They decided to passport for their honeymoon and visited every stop from Niobrara to Arnold and all the stops west. One favorite was the Potter's Sundry, where they enjoyed their signature treat, a tin roof sundae. And that's David and Patricia from Elgin. So again, just a really lovely story of how the program was able to help some people last year. And what a beautiful story. So congratulations to them. And then here's some pictures of people that have submitted things to us. I love kids when they get pictures submitted on our website. It makes my day every time. They just are so happy. And a lot of people who do it with friends from high school, or maybe, they're from different parts of the state and they can meet up and passport together. Oops. All right, so now I'm going to go over a few of the tours or themes that we have on the passport. So each year, the program is broken out into tours. So there are 10 tours with 7 stops in each tour. And again, they change every year. So we'll go through a few of them. So this one is branching out. So this tour is celebrating the 150th anniversary of Arbor Day. So right here on the right, you can see that is Arbor Lodge in Nebraska City. That is the original home of J. Sterling Morton, the founder of Arbor Day. And there in the center, that is Tree Rush at Fontenelle Forest. So that is a high ropes course in Fontenelle Forest, which is in Bellevue. So really awesome for kids. It's a relatively new course, so a really great attraction there. And then on the left-hand side is the Cedar Room in North Platte. That is kind of a more high-end restaurant, but I threw it on this tour because it's called the Cedar Room. So I was really excited to include some tree-focused tree-focused stops within this tour that weren't just trees. So I have the Cedar Room, there's a Cottonwood Arts Gallery, there's a Whispering Pines Bed and Breakfast. So that one's kind of a fun one. This one is called Now Hear This. So this is all about things that you hear. So right there on the left is Screamers Restaurant in the Haymarket in downtown Lincoln. Screamers was started by some former Scarlet and Cream singers, which would be the original name of the University of Nebraska Lincoln Show Choir. And it's basically kind of a singing show tunes kind of restaurant. So you sit down, your waitress and waiters, servers will be singing to you. They're all really talented and awesome. It's a really unique experience. The one there in the center is Goody Pop in York. Again, hearing the sound of popcorn. That's a newer place in downtown York. Excited to have them on. We had 2 popcorn stops on last year and they're a huge hit. So I'm assuming this one will be a favorite for a lot. And there on the right, that is Buffalo Records in Kearney. They say they're the only record store in between Denver and Lincoln. So they're a really unique place. Lots of great vinyl and records there to be seen and looked through. So aromatherapy is another one this year. This is all, think of smells, walking into a place. So there on the left is Clean Slate Soap in Beatrice. Then we have Sugar Shack Country Candles and Home Decor in Edgar. And then Spellbound, I'm not quite sure how to say it, Board Game Cafe in Omaha, which that place is one of my favorites because it's a full functioning coffee shop and cafe. So they have baked goods. But then they also have board game selections. You can buy board games, or there's also a board game library. So if you live in the Omaha area, you can rent board games or try them out and then take them home, try them for a little while, take them back, and then you can purchase them if you really liked them. This next one is growth opportunities. So this is an agritourism-based tour. So there on the left, we have Sorrow Cider in downtown Lincoln. So I think growing apples, they do a lot of really cool small business sourcing for their apples. And they do a lot of really unique things with local businesses in Lincoln. There in the center is a Melita Vista Winery in St. Paul. Again, just a local winery, so really focusing on the agritourism. And of course, it looks like they're surrounded by a lot of ag. So that's a fun thing to highlight as well. And then on the right-hand side is Wenninghoff's Farm in North Omaha. This is a really unique place. It's been a family farm since the 20s, and it kind of is a produce stand, and it turns into a pumpkin patch in the fall and has a lot to offer. So this is a map of all of our destinations. So you can really see they're spread out all across the state. So regardless of where you are in the state, you can always visit a few nearby. I like to think that someone in Scottsbluff can participate just as easily as someone in Lincoln, or someone in Valentine can participate just as easily as someone in Red Cloud. So I I really like this. I do kind of focus on certain areas each year. This year I focused a lot on Northeast Nebraska. So you can see there's about 6 stops kind of on the rim of the state right there, right on the river. But yeah, this is just a really great list, and you can see the rest of the tours down there at the bottom. So for the 2021 season, we had about 300 applications, and the program does launch here in a few weeks on May 1st and runs through September 30th. Last year we did push the program back a month because of COVID, but this year we're back on our normal schedule of May 1st through September 30th. There's a lot of new exciting prizes and prize drawings for the end of the program, and it is super fun for all ages. I like to say, but for my champions last year, so the almost 1,200 people that went to all 70 stops, the youngest person I had who got all 70 was 6 months old, and the oldest person I had was 94. So it truly is for everyone. There's something for just about every single person that you can fit in your car. So how to participate. So like I said, the program is completely free. So you can either go on our website, nebraskapassport.com, and request a booklet to be mailed to you. Those should be going out here in the next few weeks. They're getting mailed out like nobody's business right now. Or once the program launches, you can go to one of the 70 stops and pick up a booklet there. So the full list of stops is on our website right now, so you can find the nearest one to you and pick it up that way. Or we do have a Nebraska Passport app that you can search for in your app store. The app is really great. You can get digital stamps. So for when a business might be closed and you get there a little bit too late, or maybe you're stopping by on a day that it's not open, you can get a stamp. Also, I send out a lot of notifications through the app, so it is really great to use. So that way, like, hey, this place is not going to be open this day. They had an unexpected closure or something like that. So that's really helpful. And that is all I have. So thank you so much for listening. Again, that is our website right there, nebraskapassport.com. It has a lot of really great information on it. You can see a full list of past passport stops. You can see it's a big website, so you can take some time and read through some more of the passport stories that people featured. And I hope you all really enjoy the program, and thank you so much for having me.
Wow, Madison, what a great presentation. It sounds like it's really fun. People have thoroughly enjoyed it. I love the stories that you shared about the people that actually did participate. I do have a couple questions for you.
Sure.
You mentioned the program has been in existence for about 12 years. Do you have any idea how many people have actually participated? Not the venues, but the individuals that went to the sites.
Oh, interesting. That's a really good question. So again, the first year of the program was in 2010. And so I'm not sure how many participated back then, but I know over the past few years, participation has kind of doubled. And now we're at the point where we print about 50,000 booklets each year.
Wow.
So I'm going to look into that actually, because that's really interesting to think about. But I would assume it's well into about 150 to 200,000 people have done it, or at least been exposed to it in some way, and done a few stamps and gotten a few prizes.
Wonderful. I was kind of surprised that last year, being COVID, was the highest participation that you've had. That's great. It really gave people an outlet from staying home all the time and getting out there, but they could still be safe in doing that. So that's great.
Absolutely. And actually, those are the numbers I had planned pre-COVID. So back in January of 2020, I set some goals for participation, and I actually hit those goals even with COVID. So it was really awesome and a good thing for last year for sure.
Wonderful. Okay, good. So do you suggest that we call ahead for these? You mentioned, especially this year, things aren't really opened, right now fully. So would you recommend that that people call ahead to see, or use the app? What would be best to make sure that they're going to be available?
Well, so most of our businesses, or I would say just about everyone on this program, has let me know that they will be open.
Okay.
If there are a few businesses closed, I will absolutely be posting that on our website as well as the app. So just kind of make sure you just keep an eye on that. I know there's a handful that maybe are going to wait to open a little bit, but But I am not foreseeing that being as big of an issue, just purely because a lot of these places are really excited to finally welcome people back. And with, vaccination rates really increasing, it's a great thing.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Assuming I'm a business or a venue that I want to be included as one of your stops. So how do I go about applying for that? And I know you mentioned that you kind of look at their location and what they have to offer and the variety and so forth. But are there other qualifications that I need to meet in order to be selected?
So we don't have any really formal rules. Really, the only thing that we do require is that you're open at least one weekend day, purely because a majority of these people are going to be traveling on the weekends.
Sure.
But there are things that we can kind of do to get around that. It's not a huge rule. It's just kind of a good guideline. But the application typically opens in September of each year. So at the end of this year, when September rolls around, I will launch the application on our website, and then people just apply through that. If you want to ask any specific questions, you are more than welcome to reach out to me and get some of those questions answered. Also, I do have a running list of people who have reached out who want to be notified when the application launches. So you can I'd be more than happy to add you to that list and let you know when you can fill that out and hopefully get selected for 2022.
Okay. All right. Do you or anyone from the tourism department actually go on site and visit these locations ahead of time?
So I visit all 70 stops each year. So I did it in 2019 and I did it in 2020. And I have been to probably all of them, give or take a few. I do some secret passport shopping is what I call it. So I kind of go incognito and go into the places and just act like a normal person. But yes, I mean, we do kind of have everyone on our staff. We have a staff member in Kearney, so she can kind of visit those places and let me know. But we do kind of vet them a little bit to make sure that they're going to be friendly to everybody who walks in. But for the most part, I have been to all of them myself. So.
Oh, that's great. And you've had an opportunity to see a lot that I'm sure you probably hadn't prior to that. So
absolutely. My husband loves that I have all this knowledge because he'll call me and be like, "Hey, I'm going to be in Chadron today. Where should I eat lunch?" I can just rattle off a few places.
Okay. And so just to review, if I want to or I want to participate in the program, I can get a booklet at any of the locations, or I can go online and order it through the website, right?
Yes.
And then when I visit these, and there's no cost for the booklet.
Nope.
So when I visit these places, I believe you said I don't have to make a purchase from all of them because there are 70. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I can get a stamp just by being there.
Yes.
And you mentioned if they're closed, I could do a digital stamp. Could you elaborate on that just a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's actually a few different ways you can get stamps. So if you are not comfortable using an app, what you can do is you can take a picture of yourself. You can take a selfie at the location, maybe in front of the storefront. And then you can either submit that online or print it out and send it in with your price entry sheet at the end of the program. Okay. Or you can download the app and basically when you show up to the location, it'll show up at the bottom. You can click it and then push stamp, and then you get stamps that way. So that's just a really great way because I don't want to hold stamps over people. I want them to get the credit for traveling. And I hate it when people go, "Oh, I forgot to get a stamp at this one place." And it's really simple. I try to make it as absolutely painless as possible. I do have a booklet from last year sitting in front of me. So what'll happen is you go to these places, they stamp. Oh, look at you! They stamp one of these spots right here.
Okay.
And then there is a price entry sheet in the very back, and they stamp this as well. And then this is what you turn into us at the end of the program.
Okay. All right. Very good. And I don't have to buy something from everyone. I can get a stamp just by being there. Or like you said, if they're closed, take my picture or on the app and so on. So that's great. So I don't have to get to all of them. You said that on average last year there were like 23 stops that people made. So that's very doable.
Absolutely. And depending on where you are in the state, it can be really simple, just a few weekends, or maybe you take a Friday and you hit all the stamps in Lincoln and Omaha. It's pretty easy to do, and you'd be surprised how quickly, or maybe you have family that live in Grand Island, or family that live, in Valentine or something, and you just take your book a little along with you on the way there, and you can get stamps as you're traveling around too. So that's fun.
Sure.
That's a great way to just kind of, keep it in your car, and you'll never know where you end up going.
Yes. Yeah. This year is the 100th year for our state parks.
Mhm.
And I know you mentioned a couple of them that are included in the program, the Platte River State Park, Smith Falls. Are the others in there as well, or is there another promotion for recognition of the state parks this year?
So there is an entire tour dedicated to the Nebraska state parks this year. This year we have, so Victoria Springs State Recreation Area is out in Anselmo, and that is the first state recreation area.
Mhm.
And so that one is on the program this year, and I know they're doing a lot of things throughout the season to promote that. We also have Enders State Rec Area. Chadron State Park is on. That was the first state park, so that one's
Right.
kind of the granddaddy of them all,
Sure.
So Chadron State Park is on, and Chadron is such a beautiful place to visit. Rock Creek Station State Historical Park, so it's down by Fairbury, kind of my home. I grew up about 5 miles from there.
Uh-huh.
But Rock Creek Station is on. Wildcat Hills State Recreation Area in Gearing, and then Buffalo Bill State or Ranch in
North Platte.
North Platte. And then there's a few others kind of sprinkled in there too. I know the Bowring Ranch is in the agritourism tour, and it's really, we have state parks kind of sprinkled all throughout,
Okay.
because we knew outside destinations were going to be really great again this year. So yeah, there's a ton of state parks properties. And then I know Game and Parks is doing a lot to promote their 100th anniversary as well.
Okay. All right. And the Wine Growers Association and Grape Growers, I should say, Association and wineries, they have a passport program as well. Are they associated with you, or is that totally separate?
It is separate from us. So the wine and grape growers, they do their own version. They have a wine passport. And so that one is, you can do it in conjunction with ours. A lot of people will do that, is they'll go visit all the wineries in the state. And we have some wineries on our passport, but since we do aim for a more, family friendly kind of program, we don't offer that many.
Okay.
Plus wineries tend to have different hours than a lot of our other places, but we do, I think, have 2 or 3 on this year.
Okay. Yeah. Because I had noticed in the past, you've had a couple of wineries, but I wasn't until recently really familiar with the other passport program that the wineries are offering. So, okay. Gosh, I don't know that I have any other questions. You did such a good job on your presentation. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us today. So on behalf of AARP Nebraska, thank you very much, Madison.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. And I hope everyone enjoys the summer and gets to travel a little bit if they'd like to. And I hope you utilize the passport.
Thank you. And for all of you that have joined us today and are viewing this presentation, thank you very much for doing that. And if you do us a favor, if you liked it, got some information, and would do us a favor and like us on Facebook, as well as share it with your friends, so they become familiar with the program and can experience some of our hidden gems in our wonderful state of Nebraska. So thank you all, and have a great day.